Yo, what's up, everybody? Geektastic Cypher here on your favorite platforms. Wherever you guys listen to podcasts, wherever you guys watch content, we are there. And if we're not, let us know, and we will add it to our different streams and destinations because we want to be available to you guys. We haven't done this in a minute, but I'm Brian Holiday, and on the docket with me is our boy Jaws D. What's up, Jaws?
Ahoy, ahoy.
How you been, man?
I'm good.
I mean, we're starting off with a sad one, man.
Yeah.
Tina Turner, the icon, the queen of rock and roll, how many adjectives could we use to describe the essence, energy, power, strength, vocal range, performance strength, style, class? How many of those could we add?
Reinvention.
Yes. Every step of the way ahead of the curve. Bond singer, like all of it. She's done it all. Passed away at the age of 83. It's always a sad one.
Very sad one.
Always sad. But yeah, man, I was shocked when I saw that she passed away. I know the last piece of news I saw was when she sold her catalog to BMG a couple years ago. I think 2 or 3 years ago. That was the last big thing. It was when everyone was starting to sell their catalogs. I think Springsteen did it. There's like a whole bunch of rock stars,
a few other ones.
Yeah, there's like a long list of people who've decided to sell their catalogs to different labels and stuff like that. And when she did it, I was just like, well, it makes sense. It always made more sense to me when older artists did it because it's just like I'm not going to be adding to my catalog as much, or if any at all. So it makes sense for me to kind of cash in on the amount of content I've created so far, as opposed to a situation where I'm trying to like license out this song for a commercial, license out this song and kind of stealing the money. Give me a lump sum, give me 50 mil right now, and I live my best life, retirement, go enjoy myself, not have to think about that stuff anymore, and y'all do what you want with the music because the music's there, it's beautiful, and people will enjoy it. So
yeah,
I think the last thing I heard about her, I can't remember if it was a documentary that came out or a Broadway play about her life or something like that. And I think
I almost
maybe
think
a documentary and
I almost think there's both. I know there was a documentary.
I think it was like a documentary with talking about the play or something. And then at the end of it, it kind of felt like she was, you know what? I did everything I had to do. Everything's out there, and I could just go back to Switzerland and just peace out and just kind of And it kind of felt like, I don't know, the vibe it was giving was that she knew she was going to go, and she wasn't feeling well. There was some kind of like health stuff going on, or there was I don't know if it was hinting, but it just felt like she's like, okay, I'm good. I could just bow out, and I'm not gonna do any more appearances. I'm not performing anymore. I'm not up to doing that anymore and stuff like that. So that was the vibe I was getting. So like I'm not necessarily shocked about her passing, but I feel like she kind of wrapped up everything she wanted to wrap up, and she pieced out. She's like, okay, I'm good.
I definitely got that vibe too. Yeah, like I was saying, with her selling the catalog and everything you're saying, I feel like she was of that age where she's just like, you know what, retirement, which is in this industry you don't really get to retire usually. Right, like because of the fact that as an artist, your art is still yours. Whenever someone wants to use it and has to credit you, you still have to sign off on stuff. So I feel like that's as much as I don't love the idea of having to sell your catalog, right? Like I'm not for these labels buying catalogs. I mean, I'm happy that older artists are reaping the benefits of their work and they've figured out a way to do that, and I'm hoping that benefits them. I do get nervous sometimes when I hear about these labels kind of like hunting for catalogs and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think I've mentioned it on the podcast in the past that the music industry right now, or listening habits of the public, is 70 to 80% is catalog and 30 to 20% is new music. So people really do listen to catalog. I know it's crazy, but yeah, it is that high. People listen to catalog stuff that much. Catalog is just anything that's older. It's not new releases. So.
Yeah, because the only way that you essentially don't get rid of your catalog is if you give it to your descendants, and then your descendants choose not to sell it.
Right.
And that's that's a rarity, because that means you had to have even for that to go beyond a generation, for that to be in one generation, let alone go to like the grandkids of
Right.
like an artist or the grandkids, because there's a chance that maybe the grandkids could have, depending, artists do get freaky early on, right? So they might have a better.
Oh, there's a
but-
clause in all my shit. Don't sell anything.
Yeah,
Like, you
but,
get
like-
this, but you can't sell.
But that's
Oh,
the
really?
thing,
You don't
right?
want your stuff ever sold?
Like, if musically, like, if it gets to that point where it's like y'all could eat off of it, no,
Right.
no, no. The whole point is to not have the man have it. You're gonna work blood,
Yeah.
sweat, tears, and
You
to
may
be
as well
like,
license.
Yeah, but again, I'm just saying, and I understand, and I'm only playing devil's advocate to play a devil's
Right.
advocate.
Yeah.
Because
to me, no amount of money could ever really be like. I mean, if I'm broke,
Well, I
Well,
mean,
I
it depends, right? Because you're saying that it would feed your family, but if they could offer you, like, if someone came up to you and
That's
said,
what
"I'm
I'm
going to
saying.
give you $1 trillion," then you're like, "Well, it does.
Well-
Inflation don't matter at that point."
Tina Turner, but that's what I'm saying. Tina Turner in 2021 sold hers for 50 million.
See, if anything, I find that to be a rip.
anything less than
I
a
would say
billion,
that's
you're
low,
silly.
You think
Yeah.
it's close? I feel like Tina Turner would last a lot longer in popularity than what they're giving. Like,
for sure.
she would have easily but I mean, if you're counting around the times people are listening to just one, like just her mains, let alone like diehard
course.
fans who do all the rest,
Of course.
I would think it like her. Let's suggest her music will live on past today at least 100 years.
Sure. Easy.
$1 million a year is what her thing is worth, which means that $1 million is not.
But I get that. But much to what you were saying about like licensing and stuff, you want someone else taking care of that stuff. Is likely what the situation is, because Tina Turner herself probably wasn't really trying to be about that life, but she still had to be involved in the decision-making process at that point. Whereas if you sell your catalog, you kind of don't have to make those decisions anymore. You're not to say you're washing your hands of it, but you are entrusting your catalog to someone else who will hopefully respect your legacy and will do with it the things you want done.
But I mean, did she have any real like I'm asking this point because as much as I respect her as an
Are you going to
artist,
ask if she had hits? Because she did have hits.
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
love no. She
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
had hit Brian, it's Tina Turner. Like, there's Queen of Rock
I
for
don't
a
know, I
reason.
wasn't sure what you were about to ask.
She is multi. She's like mainstream. Like she has
Yeah.
has a lot. Like I'm
Yeah,
not taking.
I mean-
I was
You can
meaning like
ask.
I don't know her personal scenario. Like I don't know if she has kids or grandkids or whatever.
Oh,
So like
I don't know.
maybe
Yeah.
there's a reason. Maybe she's just like, for all you know, there could be a thing in her mind. Y'all are gonna screw this up, so I'm just gonna take this money. I'm gonna give it out afterwards. B, I'm gonna give it to you. You guys aren't gonna screw it up, but then you're all gonna fight about it, and I don't want to do with that. Or B, I end up having, and I'm not saying this. I bet her family is great people, but I'm just saying there are some scenarios where people are like, my family be greedy and rotten. I'm gonna give it to somebody
No,
else.
Oh,
James
well,
Brown family.
she has. Yeah,
I couldn't think
has-
of an example. If that's true,
Yeah.
thank you.
she had
Wendell?
4 children. Unfortunately, 2 of them have passed. So there's 2. She leaves behind 2 children.
So like maybe, and there's also some people who are like, I love my family, but I realize their strengths and weaknesses, and money / handling this isn't theirs, so I may as well do
Yeah.
the smarter move
handling-
for them.
Handling music deal stuff is probably like
It's not exactly.
beyond them. They didn't grow up in that, and
We're not
have
talking
to give
about
blood,
grade
sweat, and
1
tears of
here.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Hey,
I
little
hear you.
Timmy, say no.
I no, I hear you. I hear you.
I like what's his name? Stevie Wonder's clause. He's like, when I die, blow up my vault.
Oh wow!
Really?
What?
No, he's like, I don't want you trudging through the vault of unreleased stuff. That stuff is unreleased for a reason.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
well,
destroy my
even
vaults.
there. What was the back?
Does he really have that clause? Because I know Prince didn't want his stuff out, and now it's out. So
Well, the estate needed to make money.
yeah,
That guy was
Mm.
really bad with his money. The estate was like, I'm
Prince.
sorry,
He
Prince.
was.
He was extremely bad with his money. That's
Really?
why.
I didn't know that.
I mean, he was good at spending it, but he was just as equally good at making it in the moment. So
Okay,
No,
yeah.
he
Like,
I mean,
you
that's-
think about it,
he
like-
he wasn't good at investing it, and when he did try to invest it, he was just listening to the pretty girls around him. Like, it wasn't really
oh
like
no.
yeah. When they went to go check, okay, what's his finances? Like, whoa,
Yeah.
what the?
Oh
So
no.
that's why they were just making money. Like, that's why they're like, okay, just release all this unreleased stuff, because
I feel like they could have done it without releasing the unreleased stuff. He had enough hits that he could have licensed out for stuff.
yeah,
Like,
but he
I-
didn't want to he didn't want his stuff licensed out.
Yeah, but he also didn't want the vault stuff released. So if you're gonna do one or the other,
How
I
are they
would
gonna- How are they
rather.
gonna make money?
I would
Prince
rather-
was Prince was
I would
always
rather
about
license out his known songs. Like if it's me and I have to choose between releasing the songs I never wanted anyone to hear or using the songs I know I love and people loved for something that I didn't necessarily approve of, I would much rather people never hear the songs I never wanted them to hear.
but I think the songs that people never wanted to hear, I
Mm.
think more Prince nerds would pay money for that.
Well,
For
yeah,
sure.
because
That
then,
are
because then you're
super
essentially
hardcore
seeing you're seeing the experimentation. That's the
Yeah,
cool
you're
thing
seeing
about
behind the
yeah,
behind,
it's- you were gonna see behind the scenes type thing, right? Or
behind
sorry?
the wall, behind the
Yeah,
scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Because like even oh sorry, go on.
I was gonna say like there's a song by The Time that's a phone number 7779311. Like people said that Prince programmed the drum machine
Mm.
and he just threw out the drum machine because back then he didn't keep everything.
Right.
He just threw out the drum machine and people are trying to get that drum machine back and try to figure out how he did it, but they're like, I can't. It's too fast and like, I can't even do it.
I love that. I love it. Man, when it comes to music stuff, I love that stuff. It's just like
It shall be mine only. Ha ha.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
wild.
hey-
Sorry.
I was just gonna say that's one of the things that's interesting about music because the industry is such a weird thing where we are both at a point in which we get a sense that there's nothing new to be made because every pop song sounds the same as every other pop song and they're sampling the same things over and over, so you get a sense of like, well, there's nothing new in the world. But at the same time, there is tons of new stuff and there is tons of creative stuff that people can do and they're just not doing it. I don't know if I
Or you're not
mentioned
finding it.
or not
You have to
finding it.
dig. You have to really, really
Yeah.
dig to
Did
find that stuff.
Did I mention the AI music production thing last week?
Yeah.
The guy that made the Drake song, and then I think there was a Biggie song they wanted to do, and
Right.
that got
you mentioned
kiboshed.
those guys, yeah.
But did I mention that like what a lot of people have been saying the next phase of music production will be making things so abstract or so different? Because right now the AIs can make anything that they've been taught with.
Mhm.
But
Right.
we just have to make stuff they've never been taught with.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the new,
True.
right? Because the new is going to be, oh, the AI can't mimic this. It doesn't know what this is.
Right.
Making
there's
wild
no-
skizoo beats.
Right.
Fuck that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the AI won't be able to. So when you have something like the Prince drum thing, and he's the only one who did it, only one who knew it, people couldn't recreate it. You can show the AI that one beat, and it can probably figure it out because it's an AI. But it will never be able to come up with the next Prince beat because it doesn't know how to do what he did. So the new is going to be whoever can figure out how to do the things that no one else is doing and that the AI won't have yet. And that's what gives me hope. So when there's two music nerds at my work who work in this field and stuff, and when they said that, they're just like, oh, the next 10 years of music is going to go back to like guitars, drums, and stuff like that because people are going to start doing weirder things that the machines can't mimic because it won't figure out how to mimic that in time. It will eventually will, but they have in the meantime, that's what's going to make new music that people want to experiment or explore with.
Yep. Out with the DAWs, in with the mixing. Bring back that like DAP. What was it? DAP King sound. Winehouse in there? Bring that back. What?
Or
They did all analog. So like,
Yeah.
listen, nuts to you AI, because I can go ahead and pick up one of my dad's mixing boards and
Mm.
let's go.
or even some like weird stuff where like producers are putting microphones in garbage bins and hitting the top of it, or people doing that's what RZA did, or
Yeah.
or Rage Against the Machine where they're doing the distortion, they're just going up to the
Or
all that
guitar up
Foley
to
art
the
stuff. Yeah,
speaker
yeah.
and
you're making you're cutting holes in the wall to make loop tapes like the Beatles did, and then you start making even weirder things, and you're doing in different time measures, and you start to explore these things that machines can recreate if it's taught, but until people start doing it, it can't do it because it hasn't been taught that. And that's that's what I think is going to be interesting. So, and
but bring it back.
yeah, I was just
RIP
gonna
to
say
an icon.
exactly, like Tina Turner was an icon and she was leading the way, and good luck.
Can't swing your arm like this.
Yeah. Good luck to the
And,
AI.
you know that you left a good job. No, you never do anything nice. You never do anything nice. So easy.
And then another person. I mean, not that I wanted to start off the show with all this, but Ray Stevenson
Oh
man.
yeah.
So that one kind of hit me. I was just like, Punisher, dog. I was like, what are you like? What
Oh,
I
snap, Punisher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Warzone, right? That was the
Yeah.
Warzone one that was filmed here in
Wow,
He was
Montreal.
Warzone.
Punisher.
He was also
Wow.
Volstagg.
Yeah, Volstagg
Yeah.
I knew, but then Warzone Punisher, and I'm like, that's the face I know. I'm like, that's
And
where I know
he's
that.
he's actually going to be in Ahsoka. He's playing Balin Skull in Ahsoka coming up. So
Damn. So
He was in
Dang.
Rome. Wait, oh yeah, he was in RRR. He's the bad guy in RRR.
yeah. So there's a lot of it's kind of a shock to a lot of people because I think he's 58.
Yeah, 58.
58 when he passed.
58, no signs from my understanding.
Right. So I
That's
mean,
when you got called to do something else.
mm,
That's my
that's
my
fair.
look. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you're big and strong. We need you for something.
yeah.
What was
So
that
like
movie?
real
What was that-
Thor.
What was
Yeah,
that anime?
A call
Gantz?
for real Ragnarok.
Yeah, basically.
Gantz.
It's like Gantz.
It's like you're
Dave,
needed.
have you seen Gantz?
Gantz 0.
Yeah,
I know about
yeah,
Gantz.
Yeah. Well, because
What?
there's also Gantz, which is before
See,
Gantz.
that's why y'all my peoples, because no one else can know what I'm talking about. And I mentioned Gantz, and you're like, haha, Gantz.
Gantz, like Gantz
Gantz-
0 specifically, not Gantz, because I don't know. I didn't watch the original Gantz, but Gantz 0 is fucking hype. Like,
Yeah,
if you
basically
haven't
it's all
seen
kind
that,
of-
like,
yeah.
make a note and watch it right after you
Put it
listen
this
to
way, I've never watched any of it. I just know of it through reading and anime and people telling me at work. Shouts to you, Xavier, and woo, crazy. So yeah, our man, shouts to Ray Stevenson.
the 3D animated movie is like hype.
Hopefully he's not on some Gantz stuff, because that would be nuts.
I forgot he was also in The Other Guys. He's one of the bad guys. And
Oh.
Book of Eli too.
Yeah.
Eat
Yeah, his
two.
filmography
I don't
is
remember. I
solid,
don't
man.
remember Book of
It's
Eli.
His
I remember.
filmography is solid.
Yeah, solid. He's solid.
So rest in peace to him, and condolences to the families, both the Turner family, the Stevenson family, their families, their friends. It's always unfortunate to have losses like that, whether it be a sudden one or someone that you feel lived a long life, you still don't want to see them go. So in all those cases, and how do we transition from that? We go into it talking about everything and anything else in the world.
Imagine if
going-
life in like Limbo was actually like Gantz. I would rather be like no, but think about that.
I
Well,
wouldn't
they
want to
like
be in Gantz. Screw
you got to
that.
decide, right? You were either like a semi kind of person in life. You didn't do
Are-
high or low. You're just kind of medium. We need you to do this.
Okay, are we doing this though? I mean, a little morbid, but you're in limbo. What limbo do you want to be in? What universe are you looking at? Are you looking at Lost? You're looking at Gantz? You're looking at Dragon
What?
Ball Z? Like,
Like on Snake Road?
yeah,
No,
I don't
that's
want to be
a
on
limbo.
Snake Road.
No,
No,
like
but you have to remember Dragon Ball Z's Limbo.
You gotta
It's
be-
not Snake Road. It's
All
those
the
spirits,
craziest-
and they're
yeah.
going through.
Yeah, it's technically
like,
being with what's his name?
you're just in the line. You're just in the line,
The red,
just-
the what's the King?
King Kai.
No, King Kai is the guy that he ends up living with and being trained by. But there's a King something that's the guy who's signing off on whether or not he can go see King Kai and stuff.
Oh
I
yeah,
forgot.
Like the guy who's always behind the front desk. You're like,
The
why
desk.
is there an office desk for this? Like this is so
Yes, I
awkward.
remember that guy. Yeah, no, I don't want to be in that universe. Absolutely.
I would rather be in that universe. I don't have to worry about blowing up the world. I don't have
I
to
don't
worry
want to be in
about
that universe.
bringing back to life and getting my guts ripped out or getting cut off
Oh,
or
God.
be on a planet that explodes. I don't want to be in that.
Yeah, no. Gantz is no good either.
Lost doesn't sound that great either. If we're
Lost.
being
No, I'm
honest.
not trying to deal with people while I'm trying to think about what I did.
Was it
right or
wasn't
wrong
like
in life.
Vanilla Sky normal? Wasn't
Oh, I
that a
haven't-
normal?
I actually have
Vanilla Sky
never
was
seen
Limbo?
Vanilla Sky.
It
Neither
was a
have I.
long time ago,
That's
but
that's
I feel
Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah, it's a Tom Cruise.
You know, his face is
Tom-
all like, "Bleh."
No, he's normal.
no, face don't get
He's
crazy.
normal. No, it's one of the. It's I forget if it's they. I forget if they were in.
Cameron
Limbo
Diaz
or
doesn't do
if
one
it
of
was-
these in the car, all flippity bippity.
No, they're crazy, but he doesn't have. He's not scarred.
Oh shoot, okay. I
Yeah,
don't
he
think you
was
can flip a
scarred,
car
wasn't
like
he?
that and not get
Yeah,
scarred.
he
Oh
got
no,
into a car
because
accident.
because that's sorry. Okay, so 90% of the movie he's not in that. Like sorry, a movie I watched over 20 years ago. I don't remember.
I just there's
Yeah.
mad rap
Really?
verses. Dave,
That's
that's
like
the
the
funny
one
part.
thing everyone remembers. Dave's like, I just remember his
No, I've
face.
never seen the movie, but there's
Yeah.
mad rap verses that make references to Tom Cruise's face in Vanilla Sky, and I was like, the fuck are you
Damn,
talking
what?
about?
I need to see this.
So I
Yeah.
asked a
So-
friend, they're like, oh no,
Through the wa-
like
Kanye
Yeah.
West through the wire. He's like, my face got messed up like Tom Cruise and Vanilla Sky,
Sky,
something
yeah.
like that.
Something like Vanilla Sky, yeah. And then you realize Cameron Diaz got real mad, real drunk, and did one of these in the car. A little flippity dippity.
Yeah, because I think he cheated on her or something.
Yeah,
and she found
yeah.
out something.
It's kind of similar to like an upload type thing or something like that.
Oh,
It's similar to
sh-
that.
That show is. Oh my god! Sorry, I just saw his face. Oh my god, that was.
I knew it.
See, so like also Kidney may have not chose to remember that image.
Oh, isn't that bad?
Like if Brian's having that reaction, I can guarantee you 10-year-old me did not want to remember this.
I don't want to. I'm gonna show it, but I don't want to show it.
2.5
Well, show it.
seconds is on freaking.
is-
Oh my
no.
god!
It was
Steve, let's
just
go.
it was just intense because you guys described it and I was just like, okay. And then I open yo, I'm gonna
You
share
have to
this.
show it. You have to show it at this point. Now I'm
I'm
curious.
gonna share this and I'm just gonna warn some of y'all. I mean, it's
I know,
it's
it must
not
be
that
more
bad.
messed
It's
up.
not that bad. You know when
damn
you-
face
you-
went
you-
up,
you-
man.
You had like a serious fright look on
You know
your
when you're-
face.
you know when something
this
happens-
movie's old.
This
You know
is
when
a
you
clip.
like your friend goes to eat and then like
God
messes up-
No,
then
he
it's
got a
just like-
stroke.
it's
That's
not that bad.
bad.
It's not
Think it
that
looks
bad.
like
And you're
Conway.
like, no,
He
it's
needs
pretty
to look.
intense though.
That looks like he got a stroke.
Mhm.
Because when you do look it up, you don't get this picture. You get every other picture, and it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, I was expecting like, you know,
It
high
doesn't look this bad in the
evolutionary type
movie.
bad.
I think
No,
this is like one of those like it's that one scene with that one camera angle for like a few seconds that you're like, ugh, and then it's not.
I
so
mean,
bad.
I don't know, guys. This looks pretty okay. I mean,
well, I
it's-
mean,
haven't
like
seen the
I
movie,
thought you
so-
guys were reacting. I thought it was like actually tore up and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
it's
was
not as
expecting.
it's like when you think of someone in a car accident, you're thinking something way
way
worse.
worse.
Yeah, way
I
man.
thought we were-
but
I thought we were
your
seeing
ears over
bone.
here, man. Like, come on, man.
Like,
That's
like
not
guys, we've watched the Dark Knight. Like, we've seen some shit. Like
True.
Yeah, but there's a difference between seeing something that looks CGI'd and seeing something that looks like it could be a
Actually,
real
if
thing.
happening, yeah,
That's what it to me. I'm like, oh, this is kind of intense.
this is wacky.
Okay, so I found another image. I guess that's
Oh, goodness. Okay, so we're not going to be in the Vanilla Sky universe of Limbo.
yeah, no more. I don't want no more.
well. I mean,
It's
you
a
don't all-
sci-fi thriller.
You don't all look like this in Vanilla Sky. It's not like you go.
No,
to-
actually,
sci-fi
sorry.
action.
That's the thing. When you're in the
Sky
vanilla,
limbo, everyone gets
in
the
their
same
limbo,
thing.
they look good and their lives are good. It's just that
Nah,
you realize
give me-
you're in limbo.
Listen,
Yeah.
give me Sunnydale, Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 1 and 2. Oh yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
this is a little less. Small.
Like I
This is a
said,
little
stroke.
less small.
Look like he got a stroke.
I mean, I understand what you're saying about stroke, but there's also like scarring.
yeah, you can see where they
and, like,
reattach his cheek.
the
to
nose
the-
is twisted. It's a little more than a stroke. I'm that's all I'm saying. It's
I mean,
you know,
slang that thing around there, Tommy. Don't do that.
with his off-centered tooth that everyone always makes fun of. It's adding
Yeah, it's
insult.
one imperfection.
That's funny.
One.
I'm just joking.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I won't
Mad
insult Tom Cruise.
imperfections.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Scientology shuts down our stream.
You know what's funny though? There was like a, they have that. There's like a ask celebrities like, does blank celebrity do blank? You know, and they peel off questions. You ever see that? thing?
Oh
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
line?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
On
They
Wired?
had one
Wired.
with Tom Cruise,
Wired, yeah.
and it's like a ridiculous list. And he said yes to everything. It's like, can he
Of
sing?
course he does.
Yes. Can I play guitar? Yes. Can I fly a helicopter? Yes. Can
Guys.
I hold my breath for 6 minutes? Yes.
Yeah, he's
we
done,
have-
done all that
we
for
have-
movies. He's nuts.
Yeah, we have to realize at some point, Tom Cruise is. We have to acknowledge Tom Cruise might be trying to kill himself, and is just the luckiest man in the world. Like this is what you,
because he's
this is
older
what you
now.
have
And
to
still
start
doing it.
realizing. Say what?
It's because he's older now and still doing it. So that's like,
Old, young. I don't know anyone who goes Halo's diving 20 times to make a movie. Like, calm down. You don't need to risk your life.
Calm down.
You know,
I-
the insurance
Look here, Solid Snake.
isn't it? Yeah.
Look here, 60-year-old Solid Snake. You know he's 60, So
Yeah.
these last 3 Mission Impossible movies,
It's basically
And
Metal Gear Solid
Top
4.
Gun and Top Gun Maverick might be. Yeah, he might be gearing up to play Big Boss.
Lord.
Listen,
Uh,
if they finally do that and it is Tom, hey, you earned it.
but like, look, straight up for a guy who's probably had multiple injuries by doing all this, and his hand-eye coordination is fucking on point. He's like his ability. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't say I like the guy, but I respect the fact he's able to do all that shit because that's a lot of shit. Mind you, he was also paid to do that shit. So
Yes, but
I think
I don't know, man.
with a lot
I think
of
his most
things.
underrated skill is his sleight of hand. So if you ever watched the
Oh.
first Mission Impossible movie where Jean Reno wants the knock list on a disc and he starts
Yeah.
clapping around and then it's gone. Underrated.
I'm just
Actually did that. No CGI. Actually did that. Take that. You can't see me, and you can't see me too.
You can't see.
Oh no,
Can't
see
see
me
me.
now.
Could think of it.
See me now, 1 and 2. But yeah, that's fair.
No, isn't it? You can't see me.
No, see me now.
You can't see me.
You can't see me is the name of the movies.
I'm so checking.
Hold on.
We're talking about Jesse
I
Eisenberg.
forgot the name of it. You're
Is-
probably
yeah.
right.
I don't think it's called "You Can't See Me."
Yeah, you're probably.
Or now you
John
see
Cena?
me. I think
Now
it's
you
called
see me.
Now you see me. Yeah, we're all wrong.
You're all right. There you go.
We're all wrong.
There you go,
Yeah,
folks.
now you see me.
Sometimes
Sorry about
everyone's
that.
wrong.
Fun question for y'all, because we all love these movies. Would
Yeah.
Look Who's Talking work now?
With the babies?
Yeah.
Yeah, why
No,
not?
I think we're beyond that. We've got Boss Baby now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
We've
are
got
you talking about
Rugrats.
are you talking about the dialogue or just doing that type of movie? Because you could do that type of movie. They've
Doing like the movie.
Wait. What were you saying? You said
Like Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking Now. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
I think you're talking
could.
about the dialogue though, because you could still make the movies where babies are talking wild shit.
Yeah. It just maybe that specific dialogue from back.
Yeah,
then
you
would
just
be
yeah,
nice.
you'd have to. They would want it
You
cleaned
have to
up.
update it.
Yeah,
After
exactly.
true, those movies are pretty damn.
But you
dirty.
know what?
Yeah.
You know what they would do though? It would be funny because I would be entertained in watching a new version of Look Who's Talking in which the babies are talking about like political correctness, trans rights. Like the babies are just mad, wild, informed on like being woke. Like the parents are like hardcore Republicans, and the babies are like looking at each other, just like, I don't know what Joe's talking about. I think Reagan's whole program was very dangerous for us, and this America now needs to change. AOC 2024, like just saying wild shit.
What
like
am I
that.
going to inherit?
Yeah.
Sand? What is this?
Sand.
Inherit. I
No, but it-
I remember.
mean,
I
That
remember
would
Mad
work.
Max. That's crazy. You that young and you watching Mad Max? What's wrong
Yeah.
with you?
yeah, I would
you
love to see
know,
that
my parents were watching Fury Road
Yes,
when I was in the
yes.
womb, and I
because
missed
that would be
most of it.
that would be an even more interesting conversation about like we've right now the world we live in. Everyone's always making fun of the younger generation for giving a fuck and being like, oh yo, this world is a little messed up, we might have to start caring. And like Greta Thunberg, and they're like, oh, look at this little uppity child. It's just like, yeah, but guys, there's a generation of these kids who are like, yo, I want to be able to drink water in 20 years. Like
like y'all watch Fury Road. I don't want to live it.
exactly.
Like, real.
So like if you make a movie about Look Who's Talking Now, and the movie is just these babies being wild, scared, like, yo, why'd they bring me into this shit? Like political news,
That'd
like,
be good. That'd
just
be
seeing
good.
tiki torches, and they're just like, yo, these tiki bitches be walking around. Look at this, yo, they
Good.
can't even walk in step together. What is this unorganized BS? Like,
I don't
all
want to
that
go
stuff.
to.
What
I don't want to
name
go
of
to
the female
Hawaii
comedian
anymore.
that
It has
Hollywood
to do with
doesn't
tiki
play with anymore?
torches.
What was her name? She was popping for a minute, and then they kind of drafted her off.
The redhead girl.
No, not the redhead. You know who I'm talking about.
Wait, from what? Christy Alley?
No, not from the movie. Just a comedian that was like recent. Can't remember her name. She was in everything. Give it to me, guys. Come on.
Tomlinson?
Nope. Tomlinson.
McCarthy.
First name. No. Give me first name. Wendell.
Does she have a screechy voice?
Black girl.
Oh, from Ghostbusters.
Nope.
Amber Ruffin?
Me?
Not that one. No.
Give me
Black
What?
woman
What was your
stand-up
name? What-
comedian?
Yes.
Black woman stand-up comedian who's making it in Hollywood.
Who was making it in Hollywood, and then they kind of dropped her off.
Oh, Tiffany Haddish.
My man. Thank you. Okay. So you
Oh.
there we go. Hollywood bingo.
Lord, that took him. I was gonna say Sashir Zameda, Nicole Byer. Like
It
I
was
had a whole
on the
list.
tip
I'm like,
of my tongue, and I just
I'm
couldn't
like,
get the that. Like you said something, I was like, oh, Tiffany. Anyway, so Tiffany
Tiffany
Haddish
Haddish, yeah.
voices the baby,
oh god, yeah.
right?
Tiffany Haddish voicing a woke baby.
It's okay. It's
Fantastic.
the parent is actually Junior from Look Who's Talking.
Oh,
grown now. He marries a black woman,
All
and their
right.
child is mixed.
All right.
I thought you were gonna pull a.
I'm not mad at that.
I thought you were gonna pull a Boondocks and just have black person voicing white characters, and they're just mad. Black.
Okay, well then one of the kids is
Just all
literally
in.
Riley. One of the
Oh,
kids has
okay.
to be voiced by
Do we? Can I talk about Clone High then? Speaking of voice changes,
Sure.
Go for it.
Why? Because
Go
I heard
for
it's
it.
bad.
new Clone High season 1, 2023.
Right.
Cleopatra no longer voiced by the same actress, now voiced by an Egyptian woman. I assume. I was so sad. I was so sad. You hear that Cleopatra voice, and you're just like, no.
Thank you.
Stop it.
Hey, 'cause that- if you're gonna revive something, if the people can still speak, you get them back, man.
Yeah, man. I
I
mean,
thought most of the voice cast wasn't coming back, or they didn't ask for them back. I
No,
thought that's
most
what
of
the
them-
whole thing happened.
most of them are back. They're all back. Even Cleopatra's voice is now a different character,
Oh, okay. So
which
still
I was
getting
just
paid.
like, why are
Oh
we
wait, so the voice actress who played Cleopatra is still on the
Little
show,
boy.
just doing a different
still on the
character.
show? She's just doing a different character.
Okay.
No Gandhi though, right?
No Gandhi.
Yeah, no Gandhi.
But Gandhi's just frozen, so I don't know if they're trying to bring him in later or make a joke. But
Well, it's because I heard
I mean,
that he
it's
was
not a
the- he was-
spoiler. The kids were all frozen. They
Yeah,
just didn't
no, but
defrost
he-
everyone yet. That's,
he was the one back in the day. He was there was like don't get me wrong, the show broke tested the boundaries and whatnot.
oh my
but
god,
the,
yeah.
But the one that the group that didn't like it the most was the Gandhi tribe, so to speak. But that was a horrible way to say it.
You mean Indian people that liked Gandhi and didn't feel that he
No,
was
because
a
I-
terrible
no,
person
because
because
anyone
of
who-
all his
and-
other practices that he did that we kind of swept
Yeah,
under
yeah.
the rug because he
His
was a
horrible
pacifist.
bigotry,
But
that
if
he
you
was
look
a
into him,
Horribly
ugh.
racist, and we all just said, I guess he's racist.
I think
whatever."
I think we already answered our question. That's why he came back.
Yeah, true. You know what? Josh D just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
There's a
'Cause,
lot of, but I mean, there's
he-
other.
he
Sorry,
was the
go
most
ahead.
no, you just to say he was the most out of all the ones, all of them were controversial, but he was like the most extreme, and he was the one who was getting
Sure.
he was the one getting the show the most heat back in
And
the
he
day.
was voiced by a white guy. So
On top of that,
I wonder if they were
He
like,
was.
"Oh."
I thought he was voiced by
I thought
the
so
guy that played
too.
Turk.
No, he's not. He's voiced by
Also, that's
McDonald.
George Washington Carver. Then
Yes, exactly. He does Carver, and then he was voiced by, is it Michael McDonald? No, not Michael McDonald. Who's the guy from Mad TV? McDonald.
Ooh. Don't remember.
Yeah, Michael McDonald. I was right.
Michael.
Michael McDonald.
Remember
He
the peanut
voiced,
episode?
he voiced Gandhi. Yeah, so there's 2 episodes out. I just watched them. I gotta say, solid writing. New characters are interesting. The whole spin is really interesting. When you watch it, you'll find out why and how they're back, how they're reusing voice actors. Nicole Sullivan, who still does Joan of Arc, shout outs to her. I mean, it's not easy trying to have the same voice you had 20 years later. You could tell she's older, like her voice sounds older, but there's still moments where she comes through nice and nice and Joan of Arc clear. So I'm like, all right, respect.
It always depends on the actor, especially if you're a voice actor. Voice actors are really good at keeping their voice young and
That's
stuff
it.
like that.
Tara Strong, Cree Summer, like those guys sound exactly the same if they have to for characters.
Voice of Rocky and
Terror People
Bullwinkle,
Island out here sometimes.
the old voice of Scrooge McDuck before he passed away. Like he did the remastered DuckTales video game, voiced it completely. Like when you listen to it, you're like, oh snap, that's still him. But he was like 80 or 90, like he was really old, but he was still like boom in it and still doing it. And
those guys are talented.
Donald is hard to do, scratching up your voice like that.
Yeah.
No, this is Scrooge. It was Scrooge. It wasn't Donald.
Oh, Scrooge. Okay,
It was
Donald
Scrooge.
ain't.
But even Scrooge is hard to do.
True.
Like it's not as hard, but I mean, it's still like a crazy Scottish, like intense accent to like. Like what the fuck? You're like, what?
Well, I don't think it's as harsh as.
No, I'm not.
I know
saying
what
it's
you
as
mean
harsh.
though. I think
But
my favorite story was listening to Michael Bell talk about when he got to do Duke again for Community. So the people from Community, I think it was sort of the 6th season. So they called him, and he answers the phone, and they're like, "Oh, can we please speak to your grandfather, your dad, Mr. Bell?" And he's like, "Oh, okay, Dad." And he's like, "Oh yeah." And he's like, "Oh, sir, is this Michael Bell?" Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
he's just pulling their leg the whole time. He picks up the phone, and they think it's his son picking up the phone, but it's him. Because they're like, "Oh, we looked you up online and you're 80 something years old or whatever." And he's just like, "No, I could do it. It's fine." And when you watch the episode and you play back an old episode of G.I. Joe, it sounds like Duke. It sounds like the same Duke because it's still him. and he still got the chops. He's still doing. He still got the chops for it. But it's just really funny when they thought they were calling an old man, and they were like, "No, what are you doing?"
When you're watching Clone High, you have moments where you're just like, "Oh, these voices kind of don't sound like the voices," but then you kind of after watching 10 minutes, you're back in it. You know, Forte still sounds exactly like Abe. What's his name? Is it Miller or Lord that does JFK? But whichever one still hits.
Oh, JFK sounded off in the trailer.
Yeah, because that was what was worrying me in the trailer. I was like, these sound a little.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm telling you. If you're watching a 30-second clip, they're gonna sound off. Once you start watching the show and you get into it falls in. You start to go back to it. Because we watched, I just watched the series, or I guess the season cliffhanger finale of season 1, 2001 or 2002, the original one. And then I watched the first 2 episodes of this one to see the continuation. And yes, it was especially Cleopatra when it's someone completely different doing the voice. Huge change. So when you're watching one and then you go to the next one and Cleopatra talks in the assembly for the first time, you're like, what the it is
is the voice actress trying, out of curiosity,
no, is she trying to make
she's trying to make a new voice for Cleopatra.
She's not even trying a voice. It's just, this is who it is.
Okay. This is my voice now. Stop.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. I was just curious.
And you know what, Dave? Valid point. I would prefer she just does that than try to mimic that classic voice. Yeah. That's fair.
Because if you try to mimic a classic voice and you can't do it,
exactly.
For people who like that voice, it's just like when Mark Hamill it was like, I'm not doing the Joker anymore. Everyone's like, ooh, like
no. I mean,
when the next video game came out, everyone's like, like it's not gonna be good.
It's a bad look if you hire somebody because they're from the same place that they're from, and then tell them to do a different voice.
Yeah.
Well, this character's from New York, but we got this dude from Canada to do the guy from New York, and then we hired a New York guy to do the New York guy. Hey, New York guy sound like the Canada guy, the Canadian.
And I guess we're gonna find out what it sounds like when someone completely comes in and starts mimicking the exact voice. Rick and Morty, what's his name's out, right? And they still have multiple seasons to make.
But I feel like that show, they're gonna, depending on how that goes, that change.
Oh, you think?
I think because I'm sorry if you're, and look, guy did what he did. Although apparently at one point in time there was rumors that he was being pardoned or something, but I didn't. That was not at all apparent compared to all the other reports, right? So I was like, I'll believe it when they make it more public or whatever. But when you're put in that type of position where you're going to remove, you're removing a voice, you're removing a major writer
and creator,
influencer and creator, it's one thing to get rid of a voice and you're like, I'm hoping it's going to sound good.
Right.
Now it's like, I'm hoping the jokes are going to be the same. I'm hoping because the only way that the next person looks good is either A, they fully embrace and somehow keep it how it was and keep it at the same part, or they somehow find out a better way to present Rick and Morty.
It's funny though, because my feelings. I haven't liked the last few seasons. I'm actually happy that it's going to be someone new, because I'm thinking, well, he obviously wasn't doing it well anymore, so let's go someone new. Let's toss someone else in the mix. Rick and Morty needs some new direction. We need some new voices. We need some new energy. Maybe the show might be something like it was in the original seasons, because my feeling. There was
they had lulls. I'm not gonna say they had lulls. I'm not saying that they didn't have lulls. I will say the last season specifically was I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
I will give you that. This last season was closer to being like the old seasons. It had more hits than misses.
Yeah.
And
there's more, because the problem with Rick and Morty is for a while they were just going I don't want to say they were going random, because they always had an overarching story to a certain degree.
Right.
But some episodes were really fucking random, and you're like, there's no anything to this. Whereas the last season specifically, every episode may have been, someone could argue it was random, but there was somewhere that there was a point in. Whether it was one
especially
character
with
just
the finale when you find out.
It's like when there's that episode where there's the night people.
Right. Yeah.
And you realize, well, they're opposite people when they're night people, and then like it's not Rick who's the evil one, and not even like, oh, Rick's kind of evil, kind of good. You have Beth who's like, or sorry, Summer who's like, she's evil.
Yeah. The
So you're like,
night summer was wild.
So you're like looking at her like, yo, when can this come at any time? Like, is this a future thing? Like, so like,
oh, interesting. Her subconscious, you mean? Like, could she have that? Oh,
I always took that as that episode. I took that episode always as like Rick wanted to not have to be. Rick is tired of carrying the bag. That's why his character was like that. Like all of them had subconscious things I found. And I'm like, okay. I've always debated whether or not Summer really hated like Morty for being the favorite.
Oh,
she hates her mom. Like, you know,
jealous. She is jealous of him.
Of course, but like that is the embodiment of what that could be released. And that's scary.
Yeah.
Because like Morty's always been like an innocent yet smart side character. Right. But Summer's always been, when she's put it beside Rick,
yes,
she always has her shit together.
But she also enables him. That's the thing.
100%, because she likes it.
Yeah.
She wants, and that's why like there were so many, but that needless to say, that's why this last season was a bit better, because the seasons before were like, you know, about a guy taking a dump in Rick's toilet or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Like, you know, like, don't get me wrong, kind of funny episode, but like I walk away with, oh, Rick has feelings. I know Rick has feelings.
Yeah. Gareth just wrote, "Dear sweet night, Jerry." Yeah, night, Jerry. Yeah, that's that's one of those hits from the last season. If you guys are looking for something to watch during this writer's strike, as we know that we're not going to get a lot of new stuff in the near future. If you're looking for some interesting stuff, some of those hits from the Rick and Morty last season were pretty solid. That's something we should do. We should make a list of stuff we would recommend to people to watch if they haven't checked out. Because we've watched so many things, and there's so many shows that people may not have watched yet. So we should do a recap list of shows people should check out during the writer's strike, especially when the fall comes around and there's going to be nothing but game shows and reality TV.
I'll throw out one thing: Vox Machina, Legend of Vox Machina.
Oh yeah,
it's recent. I've only gone through a season, and I'm halfway through season 2, I believe.
Yeah,
or a little bit more.
Yeah.
Season 2 is. The guy who looks like the
Drax?
What's his name? Or the guy from Ragnarok or whatever.
Yeah, the barbarian.
That guy in this season, his story arc, it was so good. Then it went through it like
good.
So I could tell you've watched it. He just lost his energy.
Right.
But his time is like in this state has been some of the funniest TV.
Oh, dude. It's good. It's so good. Honestly, Vox Machina is something you could check out. Also, I mean, I like to watch this. I haven't watched Critical Role. Critical Role itself feels a little heavy. I tried to get into it. It's one of those things that if I feel like if you didn't get into it from the jump, it is a very long. There's a lot to catch up on. But if you do like Vox Machina as a show, and if you're ever interested, you could look up Critical Role, which is the live action, the live role playing tabletop that they film, and it's Vox Machina is based on Critical Role. So all those voice actors who also play D&D are the voice actors of their characters on the show, and you can also watch them play D&D and create the lore that's behind the entire show, Vox Machina on Prime, which is pretty cool. Those are longer. So if that's one of those things that you can watch in segments, because some of their sessions are like 4-hour long D&D segments.
Oh boy.
That with a writer's strike, if it goes long enough, you might need some content. So consider when you're not watching back catalogs of our podcast, that is.
Or another good thing always to suggest is gaming during this
yeah. Okay, speaking of gaming, good sir, I saw you put down on the list something that every Nintendo nerd from this to the Mississippi and beyond has been talking about.
Zelda. I'm gonna say this as a side note before I go about this.
Sure.
I like an amateur on the day that it came out. I had my copy, right? And I'm like, maybe if I go like a little early, I can get a remote if they get extra remotes, because they came with like a custom remote for the Switch.
Okay.
And I get there, and the second I get there, it's about 10. I see this massive line out. I'm like, right.
Yeah.
I'm not as nervous as I used to be. I should have been here like an hour and a half ago if I wanted to do any of the things I wanted, and now I'm going to wait an hour just to pick it up. But what was hilarious is that there was a father-son behind me, this kid was like 6, 7, 8 at best. All right. Like
Wow.
8 at best. This little kid.
But is there for Zelda?
He's there for Zelda.
Yeah.
Like his
Wow.
dad is there. He even took a phone call at one point in time, and just by chance, because like they were talking, and they're right beside me, right? So he's just like, "Oh yeah, I forget X name of
This
kid,
is
right?"
this is the sequel to a game that came out
2 years
3 years
but,
ago.
But here's the thing. So
No,
the
longer
kid,
than
the
that.
dad's
So
talking
how
on
old
the.
is this kid then?
Well, that's
Okay,
the thing.
sorry,
He's
let's-
at 7 to maybe. Let's give him 8. Let's give him
Okay.
8. All right.
Yeah.
The dad's talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, no," because it was a day off. It was a pet day for kids. I knew that.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh no, like I'm not doing that because Jay." We're just gonna call the kid Jay because I don't know
Sure.
the kid's name. He's like,
Sure.
"Jay
That's
wants
good.
to play Zelda all day, and like we're already late." Like he's like, "We're in a line. We don't have the game. It's past 10 o'clock." This kid's been like pining his hands. There's a guy coming around the
For a
line
game
to
that
just
he couldn't-
just to be like, "Is this for Zelda?" Just to make sure like they're in the right lineup or whatever.
Yeah.
Confirming whatever they had and whatnot. And when the guy, like, so we've gone by a bit, and at one point in time, that guy's walking past us to go and get other people, and the kid, like, does the old like tug on the shirt or whatever,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "You have enough copies, right?"
Oh.
And he's like, and he's just like, "What?" And he's
This
just
is
like,
like go
"I've been
count
waiting
the
for this
copies.
game for 2 years," meaning that this kid obviously played the prior one and beat it.
When he was like
So,
6.
So I was there. I was dying. I'm like, so this
And
is what
6
I
is
could have
you-
been like,
yeah.
like when I was a kid. If we were born in like,
And 6 is you being nice because you thought maybe this kid was 6 or 7. So maybe potentially when he was 4.
well, like I'm like, look,
I'm
I'm judging this based off of height. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a
Yeah, I
relatively
mean-
tall. Like,
but
I
at
think it could have been
age-
10.
Yeah,
you
at
know,
that
like,
age, height doesn't mean anything.
how he,
so yeah.
so how he was talking as well. No, honestly, I'd maybe give him more like an 8. I'd give
Okay,
him an 8
eight's
because
fair.
Okay,
how he was
okay.
talking, he wasn't talking like a 6-year-old, but there's no way he was talking like a 12-year-old. You know what I
But
mean?
still,
Right.
a 6-year-old playing the first one and like that's impressive. Like the
Breath of Fire. Mhm.
Well,
Wow.
remember, guys,
Breath of
like
the
when
Wild.
we were playing Nintendo as kids, our parents were like, "Wow, look at these guys going crazy on this computer thing."
right. No,
No, but like, listen, Wendell.
You're talking
like,
Or
about
same with Super
three-dimensional-
Nintendo.
forward, back, up, down, and A and B is way
Yeah.
different than camera angles,
And-
right trigger,
and
left
puzzle-
trigger.
Two joysticks to remove your camera
Jaws,
angle so you're
mind
not
you,
fucking up
But
your
you have
shit.
to remember. You have to
the
remember
puzzles,
something.
Jaws.
They
I'm
grew
not
up
gonna-
in-
They
Yeah.
just grow up, and that's
There.
reality.
Sure.
That's regular.
I understand what you're
Stick
saying.
moving, that's reality. That's what it is.
2-year-old can
I'm
swipe
not
a
even-
screen. You're right.
I'm not even talking about the controls, guys. I'm talking about the difficulty of some of the puzzles, Jaws.
Yeah.
Some of the
Yeah.
puzzles are difficult for adults, let alone a
Mm.
6-year-old to figure out.
But
the
sometimes
Uncharted
you
ain't
say that,
nothing to
but
play with.
because they're more creative, they see it in a different light. Because I've seen
yeah,
some
I mean,
kids,
I don't
like,
doubt
do
it,
it, and
beat
they're
the
like,
game, right?
you
with that
clearly
game,
are just
the-
like,
With that game, the way the puzzles work, it doesn't like there's no one clear cut way to do it. You could just be like,
Right. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna do this, and I have to. Okay, this is what they want me
Right,
to do.
right.
da-da. And then the other way is just like, I'm gonna put a bunch of bombs, fly over that, boom, done. I solved it. I
It's
got the
pretty
thing. I
high
don't
up
need to do
there.
all this.
cut a bunch of trees, make just one massively long stick with little stop points where you just climb up it slowly instead of going and getting killed by all these other things outside the mountain.
Like,
Yeah.
like the stuff I saw for this game, like some guy, there's like a channel where some guy just builds a bunch of just
you can make a
tanks and
skateboard.
shit.
You can make an electronic
up
skateboard.
every
Yeah, I
place.
saw the skateboard. People were flipping out over it. You can make a
Yeah.
skateboard with because you can merge something to
You
your
can merge.
shield.
You can merge basically the whole. Okay, so to get back to like the actual game. Okay, so
Yeah.
any spoilers I'm
Thank
going to
you.
say are if you haven't gotten to Shrine 4, which that's still within the
But
first.
instead of giving spoilers, can you just describe? Because you could describe
There's a lot of
like you're
improvement
building
on,
a shield and you know.
Well, there's because I'm trying not to. If we're not saying spoilers, like it's abilities, right? So like how people
Yeah.
are gonna be like, well, how do they do that? So it's like there's so I'll just say it this way. Within a short time, which again, me saying 4 shrines, like that's nothing. Like that
Sure,
people
sure,
know
sure.
about this stuff in the game. So the first area that you're in is like obviously a certain degree of like training of what you have to do, right? Like
Yeah.
the new abilities
Cool.
and stuff. But like
Yeah.
just this area that you're in and how much is there and how much you can go in just that area
Yeah.
is pretty wild. Already the things I can do now at like not jump, but in this again training ground where nothing's necessarily been elevated or taught to me to look at things through a different lens,
Yeah.
is like off the charts.
Like you're playing like so it's like you playing the first game, same controls, same mentality, but you're in a new game, and even just as that, it's like this is impressive.
Well, I was gonna say like this is one of the best handoffs of like a sequel.
Cool. Okay.
Because like again, without saying too much spoilers, but like there's obviously a certain like in the last game you had a certain amount of stuff and blah blah blah, right?
Right.
X happens. There's a reason why you are now at your current.
I mean,
level
you can spoil the first game. I mean, that.
Well, no. I'm saying the begin. There's things that happen in the beginning of this game.
Oh,
revert you back to a certain level, right?
Okay.
But with that being said, after about 5 to 10 minutes after getting out of like the necessary, okay, you got to do this, and now you're in the game, right?
Yeah.
Once I was in the game, like how the Avengers cast would say, like when we came to Avengers 2, it was like coming back to high school after summer camp or whatever.
Sure.
That's what the game felt like. Like I was instantly in the exact same intensity of wanting to explore, the same intensity of like wanting to discover or fight or like just like the pure fun. It's
like Miles Morales, the Spider-Man Miles Morales. That was another good handoff. Right?
It was a good. I will put it this way: a better handoff.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah. Or if you like the first game, this is a much better handoff than that. I guarantee.
Wow!
And like by like a margin. And I respect like Miles Morales was a good game. I'm not saying it wasn't, but like I'm very excited for when Spider-Man 2 comes out later this year.
Yeah,
but
we saw some images recently got dropped of gameplay from it, and you got to see Spider-Man in the symbiote suit.
Nice.
And you got to see like some of the moves that he does. There's like gameplay video of him in the black suit, which is pretty crazy. You get to play in the black suit, but he's instead of webs, he's shooting like venom symbiote, and he like turns into like a kind of weird tentacle monster thing and like throws guys in the air, grabs them, throws them down. So yeah, so I mean, but again, that handoff of like Spider-Man to Miles Morales to Spider-Man 2 is so consistent. Whereas I think an example of potentially not the best handoff from what I've heard from friends, Assassin's Creed doesn't always hand off well.
No.
The game, the controls change almost every time. The gameplay is really different. People take a lot of time to adjust. I know it's set in different eras, but you don't get a sense of consistency. They're supposedly always trying to update the game, and a lot of times people complain about that.
And the thing that's fun and comfortable, like it's fun, but also brings like a comfort when you're playing. It's like it's kind of like Batman Arkham Asylum versus when you went to like Arkham City type, like the improvement. It's more like it's as if they made you go from Arkham Asylum to Arkham City, but with all the other improvements from like the last Arkham game, the Arkham Knight.
Okay,
like, you got the car and like
you get the perks.
It's so much fun. And like again, I've technically not gone far. I've already spent hours playing this game just because I'm having fun. I'm a wanderer. Like there's a lot of people like you. I could have been far in this game. Like if I was very like task oriented, but like people are doing a straight line. I'm all like going back to the front and like going back because I thought I forgot something. But like it's
already recommend then.
Yeah, 100%. Like and the other thing is like I've already done things that I didn't see in commercials, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and in the commercials that I saw, I'm like, there's already enough in this commercial that's a lot of improvement. And now I'm already at that improvement within the first few hours of playing it. So I'm like, and I've not touched a scratch because the only thing and it's not a real spoiler, it's just like a nod to the cap. When I was in the map, because of like the angle of where the map was versus like the view, I'm like, oh, I'm already at the top view. And like, here's the map. I'm like, oh, the map kind of looks maybe a smidge small. So I go up a little bit. And then like I'm pressing up and like I leave. Like I don't see where I am anymore. It's all gray, right? Because the new way of doing things is you don't see the rest of the map until you walk it, right?
Right.
And then at one point in time, I'm like, and I go back, I'm like, it was the second lowest. And then when I backed up and I saw like the vastness.
Yeah.
And I've already specified, I've spent hours in I realize small area.
Yeah.
And then I'm there, I'm like, That's a lot of map. That's amazing. Like for me,
You're
because
just
that was
like,
one of
nope.
the things I loved doing in the original game. It was just like example in the original game, I didn't really play storylines followed me. I was more going like I was a shrine hunter, and I
Okay.
also wanted to get to the ends of the map. I
Okay.
wanted to see the whole map, and by doing that, I uncovered a lot of like. It was a fun way to have like I'm doing my own adventure, but I'm also helping like the city or whatever.
Right.
But this, I'm like, there's a lot of. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. I might have to
Definitely
change.
not before the wedding.
You know, like
Yeah.
but yeah. So
Okay, man, that's dope. I mean, people check it out. Gaming, like you're saying, with the writer's strike, the fall season is going to be really interesting. There's going to be a lot less content out there for or television wise, but there's always online content. Content creators like us. You got our show. You got other content creators. You got Wizzy, who's doing the Morning Detour, and he records that show. So there's always stuff you can check out. You can check out our stuff, or if you want to do two things at once, like I do, I never game without a second thing in the background, whether it be a podcast or a TV show playing while I'm gaming. That's just how my brain is wired, folks. Maybe listen to a podcast while you're playing Spider-Man, or in this case, Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Highly recommend. Dave's stamp of approval.
110.
There you go. Jaws, I saw you wanted to talk about the PlayStation Showcase, which I think is where some of that Spider-Man stuff that I was talking about, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, so that just happened maybe 5 hours ago, 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
So like right before we even did the show. So there was a lot of good. I feel there was a lot of good stuff. Some people were saying, but I'm like, wow, that's quite a bit of stuff. So one of the things I noted was Marathon.
Okay.
So this is by Bungie. It's a I'm pretty sure it's a first-person shooter. Marathon is actually the first-person shooter that Bungie did on Mac PCs back, I think, in the 90s.
Okay.
And then after that, they went on to do Halo, and they went on to do Destiny and Destiny 1 and 2. So this is like them coming back to a really old franchise for PlayStation specifically, because I think, if I remember right, Sony bought them. So that should be pretty interesting, and it's very trippy trailer that they had for that. There was gameplay trailer for Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is kind of taking it back to the original Assassin's Creed before it got to I think the Egyptian one. Right. What was it? Shoot, there was Odyssey. So the way it is right now, it's not Valhalla. Is it Valhalla?
Yeah, Valhalla's the last one.
Valhalla, Odyssey, and then the Egyptian one, which I forgot. Origins. That's it. So those play more like what was it called again? Souls, like a Souls-like game, and it also has a lot of RPG elements. And so this one kind of goes back to like how Assassin's Creed was before, where you're not kind of leveling up, where you're kind of more being more of a you're stealthing and you're fighting and you're using your bombs and you're distracting people and stuff like that.
Like what's it called? You mentioned them earlier before, the
Sandbox?
Snake. No, like it's more like what's Snake from?
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
Like Metal Gear Solid feels.
Yeah, so like more like the original Assassin's Creed games before they hit Origins and onward, basically.
Okay.
Dragon Dogmas 2, which was a game by Capcom during like the PlayStation 3 Xbox 360 era, where they kept kind of hinting that they're going to be doing a new one, and they came out with an anime and stuff. And so finally they're like, yes, we're doing the new Dragon's Dogma game. Very medieval kind of thing. They do this thing where you have like AI companions that come and help you out, and you can hire them and stuff like that. So big surprise was announcement trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. So they are remaking Snake Eater. So Metal Gear Solid 3 for the PS5.
Oh, that's real?
That's real. That's what was revealed. Metal Gear Solid Delta. That's what they're calling it. So
they're bringing it. They're restarting the shit for PS5.
So yeah. So that's and when you watch the trailer, the way it ends is like you see Snake coming out of the water, and he's got all of his camouflage on his face and everything, and they start playing Snake Eater, like the actual "What a Thrill" and all that stuff.
Metal Gear Solid 3 was first of all Snake Eater. I beat Snake Eater before they redid it when the camera angle was dirt trash. You remember that? Whoever played it?
Oh, so you did Subsistence?
Yes, I know, before Subsistence. So I played Snake Eater, and then they released Subsistence, where they fixed that camera angle doo-doo. And then Then I have Snake Eater like 3 times. I have the remastered version for PS3 that I
Right.
was just about to pop in and play the games in order. So now I just gotta wait because I was gonna play like Metal Gear, because the proper order is Metal Gear 3 and then Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 4. Actually, no, sorry, it goes 3, 5, 1, 2, and then 4.
Mhm.
And I was gonna do that because I never beat 5. But yeah, oh man.
So yeah, so that just got announced, and even the Wikipedia page just got updated for Metal Gear Solid 3.
Whoa! That damn canary, man, that bird. Listen, there's a sniper battle in this game.
Oh,
there's
that's
a-
what that bird is. Oh, okay, now I know
Yes,
what you're
it's a
talking about.
piece of
Okay,
Old man
Uh,
who has this
yep,
bird.
yep.
You can kill this old man in a wheelchair from the beginning of the game if you're good enough. That's how this
yeah,
game
you have
is.
to get him before the cutscene ends or something like that.
Yeah, because they wheel him back in, and then you have to fight him later. But if you happen to kill him, then he's done. But otherwise, this old man, who's a piece of shit old man, is this sniper battle could last for like weeks within the game because he has this bird that just follows you. If you kill the bird,
Oh,
it gets aggy. He gets mad and starts doing all sorts of stupidness, coming up behind you trying to stab you. But otherwise, I remember playing that sniper battle for like what? Okay, it was the days where I didn't have a kid and I had a job that I didn't really care about. So maybe 8 hours playing a game, maybe more. It was nuts. That looks so good.
So you want to know the funny thing about that fight?
Yeah.
You want to know how you cheese it?
How?
You go into your PS2's clock.
Bruh. Oh yeah,
and
you speed it up,
and you jump it a year, and that guy dies of old age because he's so old.
and he waited so long.
Yeah, so if you actually left the
Oh.
yeah, if you left the game for like if you got to that fight and you left the game for a bit and you came back, he would actually die from old age. And you go up to him, he's like, "Oh, I think he's dead," and you just move on.
Oh
That's
my god,
hilarious.
Yeah.
that is a hilarious way.
That is
to
like
deal with
Game
it.
Genie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
that's
actually
That's what Kojima does.
yeah.
That's what Kojima does.
There's a puddle in which you have to actually come by every soul of every person you killed in the game throughout up until that point. So if you've killed nobody, it's just you're just walking
breezy.
through the street. It's a breeze.
Mm.
If you've killed mad people, and the thing is, the game does this thing where like every time you touch a soul, it's like and like something jumps at the
yeah,
screen to
jump
you.
scare.
It's a jump scare, and your controller vibrates out of control like madness. So you're just like,
That's wild.
Was there any mention of
I didn't get through the whole list.
Oh, sorry.
I got a whole list.
Go.
So and I did in a specific order. So there's foam stars, which is basically like Splatoon, but with foam. It's like a shooter, and it's instead of using paint, you're using foam and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like the music on it. It reminded me a lot of like late 90s, early 2000s, like Japanese music at that time, where it's more upbeat and stuff like that. Cat Quest, Pirates of the Caribbean. So that's it is what it is.
Wow.
It's basically like like old school Legends of Zelda, where you're on a map and you're running around and you're smacking things, but there's like a boat section that you can do, and you fight on a boat, like like pirate stuff, like you're shooting out cannons and stuff. Sword of the Sea, made by the same artists that did Abzu, The Pathless, and Journey. So that looks pretty cool. Immortals of Avramim, just a gameplay trailer. Gina Torres is straight up in that game. Like she's
cool.
she's like you're you're playing the game and it's like, hey, don't engage, and you're like, hey, that voice sounds familiar, and then later on in the trailer you see a character pops up. It's like, that's Gina Torres.
Wow.
That's straight up her. No wonder that voice sounded familiar. Then there's a really badass game called Phantom Blade Zero. It was an announcement trailer, action game. Looks like it kind of set in like old school like China or something. At least that's how the swords look like. They don't look like samurai swords. They look more like Chinese swords, if anything. So that looks really cool. Ghost Runner 2 announcement trailer, which is another what was that game where you're parkouring but you're in first person by EA?
oh, hold on, it was really good too, kind of good.
It was really good, kind of good.
I mean, it had
Hated
something sky, something. No, not. God.
Anyway, it's more. It's like a parkour game when you're
Is
like
it the
like
electrical one, Infamous.
no,
that's not
no,
first
no,
person.
like first person.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
And there's like an Asian girl that was the main character of it. But
It
anyway,
feels like such a waste of time because
First
it's just
parkour.
you don't
Well,
see
no,
anything
no.
cool. No,
You're right. It was kind of cool. Dying Light. No, that
no,
wasn't
not
it.
Dying Light.
Mirror's Edge.
exactly.
Okay.
So this is like Ghost
Good
Runner.
concept, but you can't see nothing.
Yeah. So so the first one is basically like you're a cyborg and you're a samurai ninja cyborg and you run around and you're just juxing people, stabbing them, sliding, cutting them, and everything. So
Oh,
this is
prison
like
running.
the sequel to that, and now you got a motorcycle and you're just like speed running with the motorcycle, jumping off and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
That's cool, but like,
and
show me
then-
the guy.
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
Like, I
No,
don't want to
they
see
showed the
arms,
guy, and
bro.
I was like, when I showed the guy, I thought it was Destiny, but no, it wasn't. It was like it was Ghost Runner. I was like, oh, I remember this game. It was pretty cool. Then they showed off there was like a rumor about PlayStation making another portable, so they showed it. They
Right.
showed off this thing called Project Q, which is like a screen, and then it has like the controllers on the side. So it
Yeah.
seems like it's more streaming your PS5 as it is like a whole new system.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
It looks
And
like
it
it
was a
makes your
big-
PS5 portable. Yeah. I
was a
saw
big
the
screen,
picture of
yeah.
it next to a PS5, and it looked big, like this big thing on the bottom of the screen. Like it
Yeah.
almost looked like twice the size of controllers, like two
That's
controllers doubled up.
That's
And I
for
was
sure direct competition for the Switch, though.
No, it's not the Switch. It's more so direct competition with the Steam Deck.
Right.
And then
That's what it looks like.
Acer came out with something new. So Steam Deck is just basically you can play your Steam library on the go. It's like a big
Right.
handheld
Mhm.
system. And then also
Yeah,
you
but is this
you could also put in some other stuff in there to like play other games on it if you want to. And then also it's fully repairable. So you can put in new thumbsticks, you can put in a new screen, you could
Right.
like put in a new hard drive, et cetera, et cetera.
But this thing that they showed with the PS5, am I
Mhm.
gonna have to leave my PS5 on and like Plex?
That part I
stream
don't know.
games? Okay.
That
'Cause
part,
that's
like
what-
again, it was just an announcement, just like, hey,
Right,
this is what we're
right.
doing. It's called Project Q. They're not even like, this is what it is. We're releasing it this time. It's like, this is what we're doing in the future. So we're actually going to be doing. So I
Right.
think
Okay.
there was a rumor about it being portable and like another portable in
Yeah.
general, and then making them. They were going to slim down the PS5, but I think this is what it actually was.
Hmm.
The rumors actually were. And then the
Eventually
final
we will
thing.
get a slimmer PS5, but whatever. Anyway, sorry. yeah.
And then the final thing is Spider-Man 2. So we finally
Right.
got that gameplay reveal,
Yeah.
which was 10 minutes long, and
Cool.
a reveal of Kraven the Hunter being in the game.
Right. Yeah.
That
I'm
was
down for
pretty
that.
messed up.
That's
Oh.
amazing.
I'm down for that, but the
But when they-
whole, yeah.
When they showed off the dude that was hunting, I was like, "Oh, that's Kraven!" And then he stabs the dude in the back, and he's like, "Ah, I got you!" And all of a sudden, this big ass Kraven the Hunter with the what do you
Lion
call it?
mane, yeah,
The mane on the side just comes up behind him. And is like, "I was shadowing you for an hour. You suck." And he just
You
picks him
dead.
up and chokes him out
Crack.
with one hand.
And he's
Yeah,
like,
because that's so the guy they show you at first, you think is Craven, right? Is
Yes.
that-
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
That's what I thought. I was like, "Oh, that's kind of shitty, like kind of a meh design." And then it's like, no, Kraven's behind him. He's got like a giant,
Yeah.
lion skull on him, and he's got the
Mhm.
mane, and it's like, oh,
it's
this
funny
is Kraven.
because they gave him the suit of his son, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that whole portion with the lion mane being on the shoulder, there's a Spider-Man 500 or something where it's
Mm.
Kraven's son comes back to take revenge on Spider-Man.
But Kraven always had that mane. That was always
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, but it
big-
was the lion. Like he had the lion.
oh yeah, it
portion
was a
here.
straight up lion.
But
So
the,
yeah,
Yeah.
the
So if you
shoulder
look at the
thing is
yellow-
from- yeah,
the yellow accents on where his peck is,
It's
that's
supposed to look
supposed to
like
be
a
the
lion's
lion
face,
head
yeah.
there.
yeah, that's
but
supposed to be a lion's head, but like
Mhm.
they replaced it and kind of borrowed it. But either way,
that's really good though.
I don't know if they're using this to do Kraven's Last Hunt because off rip they're just like, yeah, here's a black suit and he's all venomy, and you're like, they're gonna do like a mix of Venom and the symbiote with Kraven's Last Hunt and Miles Morales just being there, being like, yo, why is Peter acting so weird? Like,
Yeah. I'm actually really excited about now that we have the Miles Morales aspect. When we play this Spider-Man 2, will you get to choose? Like, will you get to do missions as Spider-Man, as Peter? Do you get to do missions as Miles?
in the gameplay, you could switch midpoint. It's just like switch to Miles.
Oh,
And he's
okay,
like, oh,
cool.
he's like lizards in Brooklyn. It's just like press square and you switch to Miles. So they're gonna take in Grand Theft Auto's aspect.
Nope,
Where it's like
that's
that.
awesome.
Oh, okay,
That's-
nice. And you have your
yeah.
own set of.
Hopefully, it's like while you're one Spider-Man, the other Spider-Man is doing other set, and if you zip
Yeah.
back and forth,
and,
Yeah.
and that's a good way to like divvy the bad guys as well and whatnot. So
Yeah.
just
All
put
right.
them all in.
Yeah.
I'm excited
Yeah.
though.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
that's
no
it.
mention of Wolverine.
Nope, no
Nothing.
mention of Wolverine. They're
Oh,
not
yeah,
ready
'cause
yet.
He was supposed to have a
Or
game,
the-
right? Insomniac
Yeah.
was supposed to be doing a Wolverine game.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
a commercial for it. The commercial
Yeah.
was like, it's like low key. Two games I really find that are really great comic book games
Mhm.
because they respect the character properly.
Mhm.
Is There's the PS5 Wolverine, and there's I believe it's also the PS3 Wolverine, and I
Yeah.
believe which is based off of the movie.
X-Men
And-
Origins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
The
a
video game was really
Wolverine.
good.
That
I
game
own that game and never played it
Play it.
You,
It's
you
good.
are.
I played it not too long
I
ago.
won't take it from you
because
I'll
it's the
say-
graphics. I can't.
No, it's good.
No, it's
It's
good.
good.
Like if
No.
you're not gonna do that, I am not joking. I will buy that from you. But anyway,
Like
that's a whole other
the
topic.
The intro for that game is rough because it's like, oh, this is what it should have been, and then they finally got there with Logan. When
Yeah.
you watch, like some
Oh,
guy's putting his
Yeah.
ear to the wall, just spikes, just stab through the head. And he's like, and you
Really?
take out the,
Yeah.
he just drops
That game
Like,
and
yeah.
the Deadpool on PS3, although the Deadpool is a little kooky, but that's because it's Deadpool. Like the
That
games,
game
like to
pissed
make.
me off, man.
Oh, dude, I don't care what
I
you
love
say,
that
if you build
game.
it-
I loved it, but like the ending, the final boss. Tell me.
Oh
that
yeah,
final boss
but
is
yeah,
crazy.
but that's what I'm saying. It's
madness, man.
it's kooky.
You wanted a Deadpool game. That's what
Exactly,
you
that's
get.
what
Mr.
you're gonna
Sinister
get.
times 1,000. Oh, it's craziness. Oh, oh. By the way, anyone read Sins of Sinister? That shit's cray cray. Super
All
cray
right.
cray. X-Men Sins of Sinister. Woo, boy! Lots of Destiny doing stuff, and all sorts of 1,000-year jumps, and Mr. Sinister doing plans.
this is the one with the 4 Sinisters, right? The 4 heart.
This is
the
the ones with
houses.
the 4 Sinisters. This is, but it also like it's previous because like in Inferno, it's revealed that like Moira McTaggart's like the evil one, and you want to stop her because she wants to end all mutants. So
Oh,
at the-
that's what her end story is. She wants
Yeah.
to end mutants.
because she's like immortal. Like
Yes,
unless
they
so
made her
she's
immortal.
like the only way to save mutants from being killed each and every time is essentially just wipe mutants.
Oh God! So she thinks killing
Fuck
them
'em.
is better than
Yeah, she just like wipe them. Just like they're always gonna be turmoil. They're always gonna be like so just boop, get rid of them.
Yeah.
So that's Moira's whole thing now. And then everyone's kind of trying to stop her without really knowing that they need to stop her. Anyway, so Sins of Sinister is on some Hope, Xavier, Emma, and someone else. Hope, Xavier, Emma, and I'm gonna say Storm, but probably not Storm. Sinister. Every time they clone each other, because Hickman, they clone the X-Men.
Yeah.
Every time they clone, it's low-key like Sinister's is just putting a little bit of himself in everyone.
Oh.
So eventually, my
God.
man's like, wake up, and like the X-Men start taking over, start doing craziness in Sinister's name, and then eventually 4 Sinisters split off. There's Diamond, Spade, so on and so
Right.
forth. All right. So it comes down to the two of them. Essentially,
Wait,
Emma.
don't say which two.
Yeah, I won't say two. I'm just saying
Okay.
just one part. Emma has this whole thing. Eventually, like in the first 100 years, they launch Juggernaut into space to just because he can't be stopped. So they just
Right.
launch
Hulk
Juggernaut
style. Okay.
through Thanos' head to get rid of Thanos. Fast forward like 1,000 years, some ish goes down, but based on what Destiny says, somebody is positioned in the exact same spot. Here comes Juggernaut, and you're just like, yeah, it's just really good. The writing, like how they set it up,
right.
super well done.
I mean, I've been wanting to get back into it because I read all the way up until the assassination attempt on Charles. For the when it
okay,
started that,
all right.
yeah.
So you didn't do Ten of Swords, you didn't do
No, I didn't get. I 10 of Swords was just starting. Like they just got to the Merlin and stuff,
yeah.
and that's where I stopped. So I know I can jump back in
Read
there.
Ten of Swords because it's cool, and it also sets up Arakko, which is like Mars, where essentially all the I'm better than you mutants go to live eventually.
Right.
So basically, the Nightcrawler, Storm, Iceman, Magneto, all the Omega level people say
Yeah.
fuck Earth, and they go to Mars, and they just go to Arakko. They take Arakko Island, replace it on Mars, they all go there.
So they're
Then-
doing like Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, essentially. Then the Eternals versus X versus whatever happens.
Right. Which I have like an original. I have the first issue variant somewhere here. 'cause
And
it was
like
really nice.
Thanos's uncle joins up with the Eternals, and who is this supposed? He was supposed to be the evil one in Eternals, but he ended up being kind of good. But anyway, he's now the leader of the Eternals, and he says to Thanos' cousin or uncle, he's like, "Listen, you're in prison. We can't really let you go, but I'll give you 30 minutes to go to Arakko and see what you can do because we need to get rid of these."
Lord.
My man in 30 minutes wipes Arakko and then has time to chill. Like I'm saying, kills everybody. Magneto, everybody wipes them. 30 minutes.
Okay, I'm good. Don't tell me anymore. I'm gonna
Just
read it. People check
Read
it out.
Read all that. X-Men
Fast
is a
and
good
Furious. Fast and Furious 10 review. I can give it to you in 5 minutes or less, or it's free. Guys,
Let's go.
there's no such
Go.
thing as physics. That's it.
Okay.
There is no logic. There's no physics. There's no sense. There is only
Big cargo boom.
Existence.
this is, you know what it is? Vin Diesel made Bloodshot?
Bloodsport. No.
That's where
No, Bloodshot.
Bloodshot's a character. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't
He
see that
made
movie actually.
Bloodshot, and that didn't take off. And he's just like, oh, that's fine. I'll just do all the comic book stuff I want to do over here. That's it. That's it. I'm not lying. This is a comic book movie. It's not set in the reality of the world we live in anymore. There's no physics. There's
They
no
went to space.
yeah. I mean, yeah. All of that. That was last time.
My favorite thing about it was Michelle Rodriguez was kind of like saying like, "Oh man, that's enough of the Marvel
I
movies.
saw
It's
that.
a bit much." And then someone was like, "The Fast and Furious franchise has been going on for 25
20
years."
Exactly.
Like you've lived.
20
All of you have
years.
lived off this movie.
How's
guys
Captain
did it.
Marvel in it now?
Yes. 22
Yes,
years of making
is.
these movies, and you're like, oh, too much Marvel. Girl, you've been making your movies since before Marvel started, and you're playing the same Letty character. They
brought you
killed
back.
and brought you back. Girl,
Yeah.
You died
Stop
and
talking.
came back.
Yeah.
stop talking. Honestly, guys.
You already ruined Resident Evil. Like, chill. Don't be happy that you got this.
Shit.
You're so
They took a
bleeding
big,
like
they
this
took
all
a
over
big
them.
chunk right out of her.
But you know what? The crazy part is she's fantastic in Dungeons and Dragons. I almost wish she would stop making the Fast and Furious movies and just do Dungeons and Dragons, because the character she plays in that film, excellent.
I love how that's now popping up
actually
as
really
a
want to watch
franchise
that
now
movie.
too, right?
So,
I want to see it.
Yes. Sorry, Dave. What did you say?
I was saying I didn't realize you saw it. Was it good?
Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's great. Super
it was
fun
good.
movie. It's a type of movie where you don't ever have to make a sequel. It could be a standalone, and it's like if it was on TV one afternoon, I would stop to rewatch the whole thing because it's so good. I really enjoyed it. The action's good. The actors do a solid job. The play on D&D is fantastic. The nods to the original cartoons there, all that stuff. That's fantastic.
It's better than that last one with the Wayne
Oh yeah,
brothers.
yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah,
don't
yeah.
count that last
Did
one.
you
they
see
just-
did you see the ad they did for the movie with the cartoon, with the old 80s cartoon?
No, I didn't see it. No, but
It was really funny. So it's them in the cartoon. So they're just, chopping up the cartoon to do it. And they're like, "Oh, we're going to use our, some wizards, like, I'm going to use my ball, my crystal ball to see something." And then you see them captured
oh,
in
cool.
the thing. It's like, why do we look like that? How come I look like that? I look weird. They're just complaining about how they look in the real world.
Of course, because that's vanity is an aspect of the D&D movie that you will love and also hate. But Fast X, Vin is Vin to a degree that is, or sorry, Vin is Dom, but Dom is to a degree that I found almost too annoying. Charlize Theron is great. When she comes back, what's her name? Brie Larson is not great.
Who does she play?
She's a new
I-
baddie.
I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil.
Because you're kind
But
of like
she's-
Captain Marvel now.
She's in the agency. I'll say that. I won't say who, but she's in the agency.
All right.
One of the things that's annoying is if you guys saw the last one, you know how John Cena was like stunted, like he just wasn't. He had no charisma, no nothing to his character. He's
Yeah.
just like a blocky, angry dude.
Mhm.
This one, I feel they leaned too far the other way because he's just playing Peacemaker in the Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, you're too wacky now. Chill.
Yeah, he's doing like wacky stuff and like smiling a lot and like doing stuff
Wasn't
like this.
he like depressed and a mean bad guy in the
Yes,
last one?
exactly. From
So
one
now he's
movie to
power
the next.
slamming people but smiling about it. Like,
Yes,
"Ah,
yes.
By the way, when did Dom become Goku? By the way,
Dom is
Then
Goku,
Goku.
Ghost Rider, and Superman all in
but
one.
you get what I mean by the sense that like Goku befriends all his enemies.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
Oh,
Like
hey,
all his
hey,
enemies are like
hey,
here, like yo, stop
did
it.
you see the movie? Because there's a very big nod to that in the movie. Well done.
I no, that's just pure
No,
pure
but
observation.
You're
tell me
making
they
a good
all
point.
turn on him.
You're making a good point. what is it that this character seemingly befriends all these evil people, and can you trust them?
Oh no! If this is like a Goku
Ah.
/ Sinister Six, this is
Oh, they all
ridiculous.
turn on
Oh my
his
God.
ass.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling you
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
I wanna
Momo
say
is a
something
puppet to
though.
somebody.
Original crew
Momo
never
is a
made.
puppet to Letty.
And
That's
you
what I'm
can't do
saying
that
right
to me.
now.
I was watching a review of this movie and I heard there was like a scene with Dom's son where kills somebody question mark kills a bunch of people question mark
I will say this.
technically kills people
Not
question mark
technically. Not technically. They are all murderers, and this child is going to need therapy. That's all.
Who's what?
They're dude. You know the Fast and Furious movies. I rewatched all the movies on Victoria Day.
Yo, you're wild.
wow, you're dedicated.
No, I'm only
You're
watching from
dead.
4 on.
You
Stop
guys
it.
know.
so you
guys
rewatch
know
number
I
one
watch-
which is like Point Break with cars.
right. I watch everything at 1.5.
2
So-
and 3
but
don't
still,
even
bro.
are
Well,
completely
I
skipped.
No,
watched-
I love 3 just because they're drifting and the cars are actually drifting.
Yes.
They're not using
3 shouldn't have
CGI
happened
except that
just for
stupid
all-
snake thing.
Bro,
So-
they need to make 4 movies just to make sense of what happened to Han in 3.
Exactly. So you watch 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, 7, 8, 9. That's the order.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
But you know why they brought back Han, right?
Yeah.
Because
everyone
he's the
loved
best
them.
thing.
And Justin Lin
Because-
created the character
Yeah.
in a previous franchise. So
Yeah, because the director,
Yeah.
well, that and the fans wanted him back. So like, well, let's do it.
all this to say, Han's here, Deckard Shaw's here, all of them are here.
The gang's here.
Yeah.
They're
There's
friends.
some
They're
really
all
crazy
friends.
decisions. Everyone's your friend, or are they?
Helen Mirren.
I don't
Except
know.
for Idris. Idris didn't come back because he's
No,
like a
yeah.
superhero.
No, he's in another movie. That doesn't
When
count.
was,
Yeah.
when was Idris in it?
Hobbs
Hobbs
and
and
Shaw.
Shaw's, yeah.
Oh, I didn't
the
see that
only
one yet.
spin-off.
Yeah.
That one's anime. That one's straight up anime. He's doing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, and stuff.
He's-
Like,
Guys
Yeah.
had a-
that
'Cause
movie's
which one-
straight up anime.
He's
Watch
super-
that.
yeah.
Which one's the one right before Hobbs and Shaw?
7, 8?
9.
No, 9 is the last one. 8 is the one
So
before Hobbs
maybe
and Shaw.
8?
No?
9 is
9
they
is
go
the
to
one in
space.
Dubai with the building, right?
No,
No,
9
that's
is they go
7.
to space.
9 they
Yeah,
go to
9 they
space.
go to space.
10 is
8
the one
with
that just came out.
Cypher. 8 is with Cypher on the plane.
I don't think I saw that one.
haven't
I didn't
seen
see. I didn't see the one with
Jeez.
John Cena. I know I
That's
didn't see the one
9.
with John
That's
Cena.
9, yeah.
That's
I
9,
know I
seen that.
did see the one where Shaw is present, and at the end he's like, "Oh, I'm an idiot for not liking you guys," because again they befriend all their enemies. But like,
That's
No.
7.
okay, so I
Well,
definitely
he
saw.
doesn't really say I friends. 7 is when they capture him and he goes to jail.
But because at the beginning of 7, that's when he goes visits his brother, right?
Yes. That is
Yeah.
7. Because
Yeah.
7 and 3 take place the beginning of 7 and the end of 3 are crossovers.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
exactly.
what?
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
beginning of 7, when he goes to see his brother and his brother's in the hospital, and then he goes to Hobbs's police station, that's where he finds out about Han, then goes to Tokyo, kills Han at the end of 3, then calls Dom and tells him, like, almost warns him that I'm coming to get you. The bomb blows up, and that bomb blows up at the same time as Han has died. That's him. That's him killing Han and trying to kill them all at the same time. But he
Mhm.
fails to kill them with the bomb because Dom figures out there's a bomb in true superhero fashion. He has some sort of magic spider sense. That
Which
can sense
so
danger.
which movie is it where him and The Rock have that crazy fight where they like basically he rock bottoms him through like a table in his glass and they're all
Seven.
That's the one we're
That's
talking
seven.
about.
Fight, yeah.
That's
So
literally the scene. that I'm
7 is
talking about.
Brazil where they go crumbling through Brazil and
Yeah.
like destroy those towns. Okay, yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen. 7.
I know I definitely saw up to that. I don't know if I've seen 8.
8.
I
9,
know I
and
haven't
10,
seen Hobbs
yeah.
and Shaw, and I know I haven't
8
seen
is Dubai, so I've seen 8. 8 is Dubai with the building and the craziness.
No, that's still 7.
Bro, what?
That's
Okay.
7. A lot of cool shit happens in 7.
Still 7.
That's all still 7.
You know how much stuff happens in 7?
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah, that's the title. Still 7.
Because 7, 7 is them trying to find God's eye.
Oh yes.
And they save Ramsey, who's the girl from the Game of Thrones, Emmanuel, whatever her last name is, or Natalie Emmanuel, I think is her name. The girl that's in the what's his name, Die Hard movies. She's in those movies with Kevin Hart. So that when in 7, they're trying to find God's eye because Mr. Nobody tells them, if you find God's eye for me, I'll let you use it to find Deckard Shaw so you can take him down. That's how that is all connected. So then they find Ramsey, they find God's eye, and then Jimon Husu is essentially hunting them because he's trying to get control of God's eye because he wants to use it to hunt people.
Oh, he's in that movie
But
too.
would you
I
argue
know, unfortunately,
for this franchise?
No.
yeah.
Make that money.
I
He's
feel
been
like
making money all over the place.
No facts. It's just I wish he had a bigger role because he kind of just plays. He's just the guy in the helicopter or the guy in the van, always directing other people. He doesn't really interact like he
But
usually does. Sorry.
I
Easy
feel
money.
like 2 and 3 are very much skippable in that franchise. 3 because
mean-
although there's cool, as you guys are pointing
Yeah.
out, there's less CGI.
Yeah.
Story wise, the only thing
I
that
like 2.
technically, I'm not saying
I like
2
2.
doesn't have fun moments, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
like if you were to be like, I want to see this franchise and like catch up or whatever,
Oh.
like it's like when we go through the Marvel movies and say
Dude,
this one and this one.
But then you wouldn't know
skippable.
why Tyrese is there. Tyrese would just be showing
Right.
up. And you're like, why is he there?
To be honest, if I was going to tell someone where to start, I would say watch 4, 5, 6, 3. You're right. You could skip 1 and 2, but 1 and 2, if you want to see the original story of the family and how it starts, you watch 1 and 2. If you want to just skip to where the story starts to take off,
take good 4.
4, because 4 is where Letty's dead. Dom is on the run, but comes back to figure out why she's dead, who killed her. That's and you truly start. You get
Some
Braga.
high shit after 4, yeah.
Yeah, you get the Braga story and all that stuff. Then 5
And then
is
you watch 3 because of Han.
yeah.
Han's
Han is
king shit now.
fantastic in 3.
Is
But
it
you
a
watch
must?
it after 6?
Number 10, is it a must see in theater or like it's really whatever?
I hate that I have to say this, but you should see it in theaters because some of the shit they do, if you
You're like,
watch
yeah,
that
big
on a
screen and
smaller
no
TV,
screen.
I don't think it will have the same impact. And I'm someone who's annoyed that I saw this movie in theater. And I'm still
Of all the
Because I'm
things
so
you
far
saw in
behind and I
theaters,
don't
this
have-
one takes the cake. I swear to God. I swear to God, Doc. You went to go see Shazam 2. in
Like
theaters, you saw
seriously,
Black
I like-
Adam
you know what it
in
is?
theaters.
Ryan
It's
will
annoying.
watch
I
and
like
skip
Shazam
through
too.
things he hates so that he could shit on them afterwards if he so chooses. But
I gave
something
them my
doesn't
money,
meet his
so I have the
standards.
right
He
to
falls
poop.
asleep and has to leave and go to another movie theater.
Oh, for
Mario was
Mario?
entertaining.
Mario put my ass to sleep. I was like, ugh, I played this game already. Why are we doing this as a movie? Walked out, went into air.
You clearly didn't like the game.
I
You
love
go see
Mario.
Air. It would make more sense if
Do
you went
you
to go
though,
see
Brian?
Air. What the
Do
hell?
you?
I know. I went to see Air. Dude, honestly, I went to Air because it was just the theater right across. I was just like, man, that's playing. And walked.
It would
I
have made
just
more
walked
sense
out
you went
of
to
it.
go. It would have made more sense you went to go pay for Air. Like I'm confused.
I know.
now.
Yeah. Facts. I watched Air and I was just like, why are we, dude? They don't even show Michael Jordan the whole movie. I
No,
was like,
because
what?
the whole
Really?
movie it's not about him. The movie's not about him.
How is it not about him?
I
It's
mean,
about
what do
his
you mean?
shoe.
It's like,
It's about
Yo,
it's about
anyways.
them getting him,
Yeah,
and then
not
his
about
mom
him.
is being played by Viola Davis because he said, "I want Viola Davis to play my mom." And like, yes, Mr. Jordan, and they did it.
I'm telling you, I watched Air and the whole time they kept cutting it so that all you had was the back of his head, the side of his head.
Oh, you know what probably happened?
He
You
didn't
said you
agree
can't
to
use
his-
my leg. You could tell the story, but you can't use my
Oh,
likeness, so they have to
that
dance
makes-
around it all the time.
That's very
Oof.
possible.
So remember,
because-
every
Damn,
time
Jaws,
when
that's
they had NBA games, Jordan wasn't in it because he was like he had a separate deal
Yeah.
where he was like, "No, you have to pay me to use me."
Yeah,
and
dude.
only-
honestly, when
And
you
only
watch
recently that he was in a video game. It was only
when
recent.
you watch Air, the fact that he's like the parents on Peanuts, where there's times where everyone in the room is sitting down and Michael Jordan's back and butt are in the shot, and you're like, yeah. They're like Viola Davis is just like, Michael, why don't you come sit down? Womp, 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 womp. You're like, just let the man say some lines.
No, they really couldn't use them.
Oh,
That's
man.
I
Oh,
think
stupid.
it's contractually they couldn't use them because that's why you got that documentary on Netflix
Yeah,
because he was like, nope, you're not allowed to use me for anything, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
I am not. Everyone's saying LeBron's the greatest. Let me start getting my story out. Let me start.
I just
flooding the
want to give a
market.
shout out to the guy who was trying to get his girl to give him a handy at the back of Air in a VIP theater. Dude, not the right movie. Not the right movie. There's no if you're going to try and hook up with your girl in a movie theater, you need a movie that has sound and action. And this was a movie of just talking heads, and all you hear is like, "Come on, baby. Oh, come on, baby." And just over and over him begging her to text him the whole time I'm watching. So at one point I
Yeah,
wanted
so
to
do
turn
it. So do it in.
You don't have an apartment, Mike?
So no, wait,
I
hold
mean-
on. So do it in do it in Super Mario Brothers.
facts where it's noisy.
Brian's falling asleep. He wouldn't have heard.
Yeah, I
you.
wouldn't have noticed
Boing.
shit. Oh shit.
What's the smell for the mushroom grow son?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. We got a comment from Omar here. If you like fun, unlike Brian, you will enjoy this insane movie. He's talking about Fast 10. Crazy people. I went.
Oh,
But
easy, girl.
is it officially over now?
No,
Did they say this is the-
No, there's
Dude.
sequel coming.
first things first. This
Hi,
was
Papa.
supposed to be the penultimate, meaning the second to last. Now they're saying there's 2 more coming. So
And
they're
the other
turning the
rumor-
last
in the
act
mind.
into a trilogy. They full on end this on a cliffhanger too. Like it just stops.
And then
just
the
stops.
other rumor is that The Rock is coming back, and I'm like, what?
If The Rock comes back, I will. lose
Please
all
let him be
respect.
the ultimate bad guy who tied everything together. He's like,
Oh
"Ah,
my
you bitch
god!
ass
Imagine that would be hilarious.
Oh
mean,
no,
he's
he
the only
pulls
one
off
to
and
write
said, "It was me, Dom. It was me the
You know what?
whole
I would. You know
time."
what? If that's how The Rock gets brought back, if The Rock is secretly behind everything Momoa is doing, sold. I'd be like, respect.
Not even
Yeah,
my
'cause you can't
family.
have
Like,
Momoa
he's
join the
doing a
team
full on Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Pulls off his man, and you hear JR in the background, son of a bitch.
Also, Dave, like, really copyright that whole Dom is Goku thing because I've never heard anyone say that
Yeah.
ever.
It's
Yeah,
so
it's a
true
good
though.
point. It's a good point.
It's a very good
Uh,
point. Who's
guys-
Piccolo though?
We had a bunch of geek news. We'll probably do it next time.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
Brian.
Aliens versus Predator anime series was made, but Disney isn't releasing it. Matt Berry in talks to join Jason Momoa in Warner Brothers Minecraft game. New trailers dropped for Nimona, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Color Purple, and Star Trek Strange New World Series 2 trailer is out. And also you get a snippet of the characters from Lower Decks, where they're doing an animated live action crossover. Guys, that's the whole show. We had fun. Make sure you check out all the stuff we talked about and let us know in the comments. I know some of you wrote it. If you want us to make a list of stuff you should watch while the writer's strike is on, because like we watch stuff all the time. We can make you guys a dope list. So hit us up, and that's the whole show. We out, y'all. Peace, everybody.
Yeah.
Peace.
Don't get too drunk, y'all. Talking to you, Dave.
Too late.
Mm.